Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brothas Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ follower's perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with KD Smooth at One Brothas Mind. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's KD Smooth coming back at you with a new report. I pray you all are doing well. Shalom, family. This evening's report, family, is actually an update report on our last report we did on this Ohio train derailment and explosion and chemical toxic cloud issue. There's some additional information that has come out that we want to share with you and make sure you're up to speed on. Things to know, things to learn from, information that may help you if you're in the middle of this mess, or at some point in time, at a later time, you find yourself experiencing something similar. So it's going to be a quick report tonight, family, just a quick update. So before we get started, please remember to smash the likes, share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we try to bring you the information and facts you need. Okay. Real quick, like I said, there's a couple more bits of information that have come out that I wanted to share with you. We're going to jump right into it, family. I got a couple of video clips, short clips, and then we'll chop it up after these short clips. All right, here we go. Right now. What you're seeing on your screen, family, is someone they boiled some of their water that was in this area in Ohio. And this is what they discovered while boiling this water. Yeah, that definitely is not usable, drinkable in any way, shape, or form. But keep in mind, the authorities in Ohio have told the citizens there that there's no toxins in their water, right? They literally told them there's no toxins in the water or in the air. But clearly, something ain't adding up, okay? So it just goes further to confirm for you, family, you cannot always believe what they are saying. Sometimes you got to look at the situation, family, and make up your own mind and make some choices on your own. And sure, if you overreact, that's okay. You know, in the context of being safe, that's okay. It's better to overreact and be safe and there not be an issue than to not react in the means of safety for you and your family, and you find out too late that you weren't given all the information, or yeah, anyway, but just wanted to share that quick with you. I got another one, family. right quick. This is going to include some information that has recently come out. I believe this one includes some eyewitness information, testimonial of people that literally are going through this as we speak. Here we go.
I live in East Palestine, Ohio. My home and my business, separate buildings, are both located within throwing distance of the train derailment. And the water, the creek, is where most of the smell comes from. If you get closer to the creek, which runs through town, it stinks and it burns your eyes. My family and
Okay. Just a moment, family. We're having some technical difficulties. Allow me a moment to try to resolve these technical difficulties. So we can replay that, run that back for you here in just a moment. All right, hold on. Get this together and try this one more again. In just a moment. Wow, they don't want this information out. They do not want this. I gotta make some adjustments. We got to make some adjustments, family. Give me just a moment. Just a moment. We're gonna make these adjustments and we're gonna get this together. Give me just a moment. Get to this clip. Give me just a moment, family. This is a eyewitness account that you really would benefit from seeing. Really would benefit from seeing this and hearing what people are actually going through here in Ohio. So, all right, I think I pretty much got it together. We think adjustment here. They switched up the game on me. All right, here we go. Without further ado, let's run this clip right now.
I live in East Palestine, Ohio. My home and my business, separate buildings, are both located within throwing distance of the train derailment. And the water, the creek, is where most of the smell comes from. If you get closer to the creek, which runs through town, it stinks and it burns your eyes. My family and I, my wife and 2 kids, we have an Airbnb we've been living out of since this happened last Friday. This is the first time I've been home in a week. I had to leave my 2 small dogs here. They're okay. I just, had to come feed them. We still have a mortgage on this house. We were pretty well paid off, well more than halfway paid off, but that was based on the value at the time. But it's worthless now because who's gonna buy a house next to a train wreck? I own Velez engines. The brakes in here. It's all a work in progress that I can't do. Yeah, this is the worst smelling part because it actually has a real ceiling. This is all customer stuff except that's one of my son's bikes. The creek's right my back door. You open it up, there it is. And they got the guys in hazmat suits and respirators still back there cleaning it. So I don't really know what we're gonna do. We don't plan on coming back. My wife's a nurse, so she's not taking any chances with the chemicals, and just because we don't know the side effects of what was spilled and burned off. We're trying to get somewhere more permanent to live, one step at a time, I suppose.
Okay, family. Yeah. Eyewitness accounts for you. We got another couple of clips for you on some additional information, and we will come right back. All right, here's our next clip. Wow.
Look at all that.
Look at it.
It's all in the bottom of the creek bed. Now look at it. But they burned all the chemicals off of there, right?
That's what I heard.
I'm Connor Boyack, author of the
Okay, we got invaded here by a colonizer invader. I am going to eradicate them. We're going to eradicate them immediately, and we're coming right back at you to finish this clip.
Maybe off the top.
All right. There you go, family. Just a quick clip to show you, even though they're telling the residents that the air and the water are safe, they can return home. Residents are going and doing their own investigation and discovering that there seems to be more issues than what they're being told. Now, what you have to keep in mind also, family, is the so-called safety crews, the EPA and the official safety crews that are out on scene, so-called during the testing and whatnot of the air, of the water, things of that nature. They're out there, and they have a certain, for like each of these chemicals, they have a certain chemical level threshold that when they do their testing, whether the testing is accurate or not, when the threshold, the chemical level, or the amount of chemical that they find in the air or in the water is below a certain amount, that's when they say, okay, the water's safe or the air is safe. Safe to drink, safe for use. But that does not mean that there is no chemical or chemicals there. In addition to that, the amount that they are saying is safe is so many parts per million or what have you. Who came up with that figure? That's another question you need to be asking. Who came up with that figure? What was their motivation? Was it the actual safety of people's lives and health? Or was it some other motivation, like profit or, saving cost in regards to expenses and cleanup? So, okay, we cleaned this up enough. Let's go. So we don't have to keep cleaning up or clean up further to get the numbers even lower. So you always have to keep that in mind, family. That's why, as I showed you, there's people going out to the waterways there, the little creeks, and you can see it. There's even reports of people in the area there in Ohio who have basements because I think one of these chemicals is actually heavier than air. So people that have basements and this chemical gets into their house, the chemical that's heavier than air is actually settling in the air in their basement of their house. So when they try to go down into their basement, they get hit with a much stronger amount or level of that chemical than they do up on their first floor or outside or what have you. Like I showed you in the one clip, guy went to his workshop. It's right next to a creek. He can't even be in there. He can't be around that area for more than a short period of time because the chemicals start to burn his lungs, burn his eyes, and what have you. Okay? So these and the many other things, family, you have to keep in mind when you're dealing with a situation like this. In fact, I got one more additional clip I want to share with you. Another eyewitness report. We're going to play this clip and let this resident share his experience with you, and then we'll come back and chop it up.
This entire situation over the past couple weeks, sir.
Horrific. I'm evacuated out of my house before they pulled the evacuation because my 80-year-old mom lives with me. My house was engulfed in fumes. So I got her out, packed some clothes, and then Sunday I come back to get her insulin because we didn't grab her insulin. She needs it.
This past Sunday?
Yeah, no, Sunday before the implosion.
Oh, okay, okay.
And when I'd left to go back over, the fumes in town were nothing like they were on 170 coming out of that creek.
Okay, family, so did you understand what he just said? When he evacuated his family, the toxic level in the air was at a certain point. Then, when he went back to go get his mother's insulin, the toxic level was significantly higher. The toxicity in the air was significantly higher. But remember, by the time he went back, they were starting to be, actually, he said it was before the burn off, but this was right around the time, especially after the burn off, that the authorities told the residents that there was no toxins in the air. They kept telling them that. It's okay, it's safe, there's no toxins in the air. But he goes back and basically, what you gonna believe? The authorities or your lying nose, lungs, and eyes? Which are you gonna believe? Yeah. Let's finish the clip.
Inhaled that air, and I thought I was going to freaking die. I thought I was going to die. I almost wrecked my damn truck. The road looked like a wet ribbon.
Okay. There we go, family. Yeah, so there's a lot going on in Ohio, family. Just wanted to share with you guys a couple of additional clips of information because, you know, the other question you got to ask is, why isn't this story being reported on mainstream media everywhere? Why aren't they there interviewing the residents? There's been a handful of little short report clips that mainstream media has put out where they've sent some correspondents in, and the actual news reporter correspondents, they get there and they like, oh my God. And those clips, reports are really fast, and then they cut them off. They go, leave, get away from there. There was one brother I saw in the clip. They sent him in there. He got there, could smell and sense how toxic the air was. And before he did his report, he and his crew left. They went 2 counties away where the air was a lot less toxic, and then did a report. And he was like, we left. We ain't there no more. We was there, but we left. So, I mean, this is not a laughing matter, but just to give you an idea of how serious this situation is, family. Now, on your screen on the left is an additional thing that's happening there in Ohio. The railroad company and the other authorities, they are passing around and giving residents what you see on your screen, this sign-up sheet, because they announced that they need to come around and check those who have water wells on their property. They need to come around and test the water in your well. in an attempt to assure that it's not toxic or the chemical levels aren't past the so-called threshold in your well, and in your well is safe to drink. But in the process, when they come to do that, they're asking residents to sign this document. And when you read the document, this is the best shot I could find of this document. When you read it, it basically removes your ability as the property owner to sue the railroad company or any of the other officials. That's literally what this document does. So this resident and many others are, snapping pics of the documents that they're bringing around going, wait, nah. And they're not signing. Those that are really thinking clearly when they come around with this satanic foolishness, okay? They're like, nah, bro, I'm not signing that. Like, well, we can't test your well. Well, I'm not signing that. But you ain't seeing this on most of your mainstream media being reported. So, with that being said, family, again, on the right of your screen, these are some of the things that not only the people in this affected area should have or could use to help minimize the negative impacts of this situation, especially if they're not able to evacuate the areas. And I went over these again in our previous report, our more detailed report. But family, even for the rest of us, by now you should have, as One Brothas Mind's recommendation, you should have some of all of these things at your house. Just there and available. Plenty of N95 masks and gloves, goggles, and the little suits you see on your screen. Those are like the little construction or painter suits that you can get at your local hardware store, where you can, provide yourself and your clothes some level of protective clothing or cover in the event of a situation like this. Because you got to remember, family, there's a rainstorm coming through the Ohio area. If you go and search up the local forecast, it's supposed to start raining. And this toxic cloud is just hanging over that certain area. I mean, it's traveled some slightly to the east. That's why Pennsylvania and West Virginia areas there are now affected, because it's moving, but it's moving slowly. But one of the next problems is about the rain. So all these toxins are going to get absorbed up into that rain when it comes through, and now it's going to start raining on everyone. It's going to rain on your soil, on you, etc. So while it's raining, if you got one of these jumpsuits on, you and your family, this is potentially a protective option. Or you can always go with the old school raincoats. Some of y'all know what that is. But something to cover you and your head, your face, your gloves for your hands, because you don't want to get, let's just say, if the information that the so-called authorities are providing is not thorough enough or accurate enough, what you don't want to have happen is for rain to absorb this toxic cloud, and now you got toxic rain coming down and landing on your skin. That's what you don't want to happen if the authorities are not fully telling the truth here. Okay? So that's why you would have a suit like that for you and your family. And then you would just put your gloves on. You can find some face mask material somewhere, your goggles, your mask, You can even go as far, when it's something in the air, you can go as far as getting some duct tape rolls and duct taping around the legs, the bottom of the legs of these suits. Duct tape a tight strip around each leg, a tight strip around each wrist. You see what I'm saying? You can create a pretty good barrier, a temporary barrier of protection for yourself and your family. Just an idea. But again, we go over more details with all this stuff in our previous report. Definitely go to One Brothas Mind if you want to see our previous, more thorough, detailed report that we previously did. Go to One Brothas Mind, go to the video section or the live section. It'll be the first report up there just before this one. It'll have the same thumbnail. It just will not have the word update on it, but go there, review that report for more information. Again, I've been checking around in these social media streets, in most social media so-called spaces, family, they are shadow banning not only One Brothas Mind's report, but many other people's reports. You're not even seeing a lot of reports, even though many content creators, we're out here doing reports, just like the one you see I'm doing. We're doing them. They're shadow banning them. So you actually have to go, you have to be subscribed to hopefully get a notification of our reports. And then you have to literally go to the content creators page, their channel, to see their most recent or updated reports, especially on this issue. They're out there. They're just all of the social media sites. None of them are recommending and showing you the reports like in your feed or what have you. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So again, touched on it just a moment ago. There's rain coming to this area. It's moving in. It's the winds for that rain is moving from west to east. It's heading toward the coast. So this toxic cloud is going to be continued to be pushed toward the northeast, toward the coast. So that's why Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and even people in New York are now going, wait the hell a minute. What? It's coming, y'all. Now, best case scenario, the winds come in and dilute the toxins in this toxic cloud enough to where it no longer is a health threat to anyone. But that's the best case scenario. Everything else and anything else, you got some decisions and choices to make. Okay? All the way to our people, our family in New York. Okay? So there you have it, family. Just a real brief, quick update on some of the information that is leaking out. If you have some more information that you've came across, drop it in the comments. That's what we're here for, to try to provide information and facts we all need. Okay? And let me know what y'all think about what's going on here. What would you do? How would you respond in this type of situation? I mean, most of y'all, if y'all paying attention, there's been about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different train derailments around the country in this last 4, 5 days alone. There's been truck overturns. There was one in Florida, a chemical overturned in a truck. There was one, I think, in Arizona, another train derailment. I mean, so it really don't matter where you are. What matters is that you stay informed. You've already made some decisions on what you would do in response to a situation like this. You've already prepared yourself. You have supplies and resources and you know, plenty of money stacked up. So if you need to evacuate quickly, you can do so. Get out of the direct path of whatever's coming or going on, to protect the health of yourself and your family. This is not stuff you can just sit around and just be like, okay, it's just okay. No, that's not what this is. Okay? The best position to be in is informed and prepared. There you have it, family. And this concludes this broadcast for One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory and being on code is required. But never fear, Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.